The first event that I attended at the United Nations was the 17th session of the Commission on Sustainable Development, which was on agriculture, rural development, land use, desertification, drought in Africa. Key concepts that were discussed during the session were the interlinkages between the key thematic concepts and the need for increased education and human capital, strategies for climate change mitigation and adaptation. And there was a lot of focus on the need to reverse land degradation in order to prevent desertification and to increase agricultural output, and the importance of caring for the land in a sustainable manner and the implications of doing so on food security. Overall, there was general consensus in terms of increasing targeted international assistance and increasing international cooperation in the areas of knowledge and technology transfer, and for increased funding as it relates to sustainable agriculture and climate change mitigation and adaptation. However, there was a divide in terms of increasing funding for sustainable agriculture or relying more heavily on the use of chemical fertilizers to achieve the Millennium Development Goals in terms of agricultural production. So that was one of the key debates that took place during the session. There was a lot of discussion on increasing organic farming in terms of reducing tillage, pro-conservation agriculture, preventing erosion and increasing water productivity, different ways of managing water resources more effectively as it relates to agricultural production. For example, harvesting and storing rainwater. The CSD is an important forum because it provides follow-up and it's a monitoring system to evaluate progress concerning the implementation of the 1992 Rio Summit. It's very important that GFDD and FUNGLODE play a role in the CSD because as think tanks, they bring an important perspective to the table. One unique thing about CSDD is that it's a multi-stakeholder forum. And the idea is to include the voices of key civil society groups such as non-governmental organizations, women, indigenous groups, businesses, science and technology, to unite all these key players so that they can have an influence on decisions that are made by governments. Among the major groups that the Commission on Sustainable Development brings together is the major group Science and Technology, which is very interesting, especially to Global Foundation for Democracy and Development and Fundación Global Democracia y Desarrollo, because it gives us as think tanks the opportunity to hear about the latest trends from the fields of science and technology as it relates to pressing topics such as sustainable development, land use, agricultural production. So this information is very vital that we obtain this information and bring it back to the Dominican Republic to be able to promote these ideas in conferences and other events.